Okay, everyone, a quick video on Fleet Arena. A lot of people neglect Fleet Arena because they spend their fleet coins, fleet tokens on either character shards, toon shards, or on Zeta materials, which is, in my opinion, a massive waste of fleet currency. You do have to put a lot of the fleet currency into your ships to be competitive in the fleet arena at the highest levels. Most players I've seen are in the top 200, which is good. If you're outside the top 200, you really need to get your ass in gear and fix that. But to be in the top 20, it's much more difficult. You basically need to have like a 7-star fleet in your starting lineup in most cases. I'm ranked number 10 here. I haven't really been fighting too many fleet arenas because they do take a lot more time. It takes, for me in an arena match, takes between 30 and 60 seconds in most arena matches if I'm not doing a video. To finish an arena match, a fleet match will take me between 3 and 4 minutes, which it's not the most time in the world, but to do 5 of those a day, it's tough. So I get that you can't do too many fleet arena matches on a daily basis, but you should be doing at least 1 or 2. And if you do them the right way, you can climb the ranks fairly quickly because, again, it's not just you who doesn't put that much time or put enough time and enough resources into improving your fleet and improving your fleet arena ranking. Most people don't do it. So it's very easy to pick on the people who are obviously don't care and just beat them and then climb the ranks. And then once you get to the top 20, well, that gets much more difficult. And then, we can do some more advanced videos later on. But I just want to show you the basic dynamics of a fleet battle so you can at least start thinking about ways that you can improve. Okay? So I'm going to pick out of these three. There's 3 different, this is a good example. There's 3 different capital ships. There's the Tarkin capital ship on the left. There's the Mace Windu capital ship on the middle, Endurance. And then there's the Akbar capital ship on the right. You can see the Akbar capital ship has the lowest power by far. You see my fleet power is 311,000, which is bigger than most of the options here. But fleet power, like arena power or like toon power in the regular rankings, it's just an indication. It's not really representative of, am I going to destroy this guy Marsix or not? Am I going to really beat him up because my fleet power is 50,000 higher than him? It's not necessarily clear, and the reason why is because look at his fleet ships, right? They're all 7-star, they're all 85. I mean, all these guys are all 85, right? But his fleet ships are all 7-star. The other 2 don't have all 7-star ships, okay? So when I'm looking for a matchup, that's one consideration. If they have 7-star ships, it means they have more health. It means they hit harder, and so on. So that's one consideration, is don't be fooled by the low fleet power, right? The necessarily low fleet power. The main consideration when I'm looking at a matchup is, well, to start with, it's who are the starting 5 in the fleet, right? Now, at the highest levels, if your starting 5 has the Jedi Consular ship, which you see in Marsix, that's usually at a sign of somebody you can easily beat. The reason why is because the JC ship, it's great at low levels, it's okay at middle levels, and I've even played with that JC ship at high levels at 85 for quite a while. The reason why is because his opening attack is great. He calls an assist and he does pretty good damage in the opening attack, and so that's useful. And because because he calls the assisting ship usually gets some extra protection for a couple of turns, so that's useful. The problem with that is it's not as good to have it as an opening attack because everyone has full protection already. So on the opening attack, you're adding full protection boost to a ship that's already most likely fully protected. So it's not as helpful as if he comes off the bench. So if you have him in your starting lineup, I would suggest moving him to the bench for that reason. He's much better coming off the bench. You call him for a reinforcement, and then right away that when he reinforces, he gets his big opening attack and he gets to call the assist, and you get to basically pick a ship on your fleet that needs a protection. You basically give him free protection, which is great, which is useful. The second thing is JC's ship, after that opening attack, he sucks. He can't really do much. He can restore protection on himself or another ship. And his basic attack is really weak. He can't target lock, which is a major drawback. And he has a chance of giving you defense up, or giving someone on your team defense up if he hits a target locked enemy with his basic. So he's not a great ship really. And, hopefully you've outgrown him at this point if you're watching this video. If you haven't, he's not a bad ship. But you probably want to move him to the bench, in consideration of other things. There's other ships in your fleet that you might have, you might be better suited to put more effort in and resources in. So again, this guy Marsix on the right. Yeah, he has low fleet power, but more importantly, he has the JC ship in his starting lineup, which means if I can prevent that JC ship from attacking, I stand a really good chance of wiping that JC ship out really quickly. And then I don't really have the remaining 4 ships to worry about. The remaining 4 there are the Boba ship, the Slave 1, which is, everyone has, especially at this level. And you can see all 3 options here have it. And it's really slow, so I'm not worried. Having Boba in the starting 5, I'm not a great fan of either. And I'll explain why a little bit later when I call him in as a reinforcement. But, he's very slow, so I'm not really worried about him in the starting lineup. I think it's a mistake that most people put him in the starting lineup. The Biggs ship is by far the biggest headache because, his taunting, and his, he has so much heavy protection, and so his taunting can really be a problem. So everyone has Biggs in the starting lineup for the most part, so I'm not worried about that. Wedge Antilles in the lower right of Marsix's fleet. Wedge is a pain because he hits so hard like a sledgehammer. He can knock out basically at least 1 ship on your fleet before you take him out. He's not that strong, so it's pretty easy to take him out, but usually it's hard to take him out before he does major damage on your ship. And the 5th is the Fives' ship. I forget what it's called, but Fives' ship, I think it's Umbaru Starfighter or something like that. His ship is very tanky. It does this crazy target lock thing. It does protection down. It does defense down and offense down when it hits you. Like it's a pretty good ship. It does give you turn meter if it hits you with the basic, which is good, but it doesn't. I think Fives' ship overall is one of the better ships in the game, and it's tougher to fight than most other ships. Okay, so I'm inclined to fight Marsix based on those. So basically my strategy would be, block Jedi Consular, his opening attack, wipe him out as quickly as possible, then try to figure out what to do about Wedge. He'll probably take out one of my ships, before I can kill him, and then deal with, either Slave 1 or the Umbaru Starfighter, and then Biggs will probably come in last or something like that. We'll figure it out once you get in front there, but that's kind of like a basic plan of attack. Looking at the middle option, Gusto Vega, he has I think the Mace Capital ship is the worst one to have. Hopefully none of you have it. I don't really know very much about using it, just that it's very easy to beat in Fleet Arena, and I think the cons outweigh the pros. TIE Fighter pilot's in there. He's annoying because he dodges so much. Darth Vader ship's in there, which is annoying because it basically gives you target lock guaranteed every time he has a turn. Kylo ship is in there, which you can see is only 4-star, but the Kylo ship is terrible. He's one of the easiest to beat. So if somebody has a Kylo ship, I'm surprised this guy has gotten to number 8, because if he has a Kylo ship, that's very easy to wipe that out. And of course he has Slave 1. So he'd be up there because of the Kylo ship. It's a very weak ship, but I still think Marsix is the easier component to beat. Gabor, I fought this guy a few times before. He can be tough. He's tough because he has Executrix, the Tarkin ship, and he has TIE Fighter pilot. And if you use Executrix's capital ship, you know that, or if you use TIE Fighter pilot, you know that every time he dodges, he feeds the capital ship turn meter. And it's doubled if he's using the Tarkin ship. So I think he feeds him like 13% turn meter or something like that if he dodges. And so with Tarkin, it's 26% turn meter he feeds when he dodges. So every time I try to swing for TFP and I miss, it gives Tarkin over a quarter of his turn meter increased. And that's a problem because it makes him go faster and faster towards his cooldown, towards his AoE attack, which basically ends the fight. If Tarkin gets off his AoE attack 99% chance I'm going to get wiped out and I lose. So I try not to fight Tarkin. I think Tarkin's the best capital ship to have for that reason. And I used to have Akbar's ship for a long, long time, for literally 90% of the time I've been playing this game. I've just recently changed within the last few weeks to Tarkin's ship. I like it much better. If I had to do it all over again, I would have chosen his capital ship to start with. If you're watching this video, don't use him for his capital ship. Um, then it's not the end of the world. It'll be a long transition period to switch between whatever capital ship you're using and Tarkin. So it's not the end of the world. You don't have to switch to him until you get to the highest levels like I have. And you basically have everything maxed out and you have your fleet maxed out and you don't have to spend any more resources on leveling your fleet, and you sort of have your fleet and you're good to go. Then you can start farming on, Tarkin shards and building up the underlying Tarkin tune and re-putting resources into his capital ship. Once you're sort of set to go with your fleet, so you don't lose rank by trying to switch mid climb as you're climbing the arena ranking. Just wait until you're set with what you want to do for a few weeks, and then you can just devote your time to upgrading the capital ship, the Tarkin capital ship, before you switch. Okay, if you already have him as your capital ship, congratulations! It's a genius choice because it lets you unlock the ship ability channel, the highest tier, the ship abilities challenge, which is where you farm your Zetas. And I wish I'd known that because it took me a lot longer to farm Zeta materials early on when I was before I got my first Zeta. And I never decided to buy the Zeta materials because they're so expensive in the fleet store. But it took me a long time to unlock the ship abilities challenge to get to farm Zetas every week. So having Tarkin built up would make it so much easier. So he's my pick for capital ship. And until there's a rework of these capital ships and so on, that's where I would advise anyone is to go for Tarkin because he's just a much better option, I think. So I definitely want to avoid Gabor on the left. Gusto Vega, I could beat him because of Kylo's his Achilles heel there. I'm basically fighting him 5-on-4 because Kylo I'll just wipe out really quickly. But Mars 6, I gotta go with him because of the JC ship and the fact that I think Akbar is one of the weaker capital ships to tie with. And actually, I think Mace is more annoying to fight than Akbar these days for me. So I prefer to fight Akbar than to fight a Mace capital ship because Mace's capital ship is annoying with damage immunity coming in at the end, sort of deep into the fight. So and also because Gusto Vega has Darth Vader, it basically means that Biggs is going to be a problem for me for longer than he would with Mars 6 because every time Darth Vader has to turn, Biggs' protection gets restored and his taunt gets renewed and just it's going to be annoying. So I'd rather fight Mars 6. I can do another fight later on with the different capital ships to show you how I engage each one. But right now, I just want to show you how to choose a fleet opponent when you're looking at how to break it down in your head so you can know, okay, this is who I should be fighting. Okay, and because we've gotten this far, I'm just going to take you through the fight, and I'm not going to really narrate it. This is a how to pick an opponent, but I'm just going to go through the fight just to show you if I'm right or not. I might lose. I don't know. It's tougher to do these fights at the higher levels, but I'll do a detailed breakdown of the fight strategy in future videos. But I just want to keep this video a little bit shorter because I've already talked for quite a bit. So let's go ahead and fight. You see my starting five is going to be Biggs, Darth Vader's ship, and Ahsoka Tano's ship, TFP, and Fives' ship. Okay, and on the bench I have Geo Soldier's ship, JC's ship, and Boba Fett's ship, Slave 1. Okay, I have a weird starting five, but it works for me, and I'll show you how that goes. So let's get going. Takes forever to load this up. Sorry for the wait. You probably experienced it as well. Any day now. Come on, guys. All right, here we go. All right, Akbar. Let's see what we got. Okay, so you already know what my first move's going to be. Perfect. That's what I wanted. Okay. What am I doing here? Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, I expected that. It's okay. So now I'm going to do is this. Here we go. Firmly in the driver's seat here. This flight should be ending shortly. Act of desperation there. This fight's over. He knows it. That's it. Easy enough. Hope the video was helpful. If you have any question, leave them in the comments. And yeah, keep up the good work, and may the force be with you.